Okay. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's another Friday. It's another episode of Good Brothers Media Podcast. I got my right hand man, my partner in crime, Mr. P Powell to the third power, and Mr. Preston Powell the third. And he's back. Uncle Neely, big coach. What's happening, y'all?
And it's
Hey
all good
man,
in the hood.
Hey, wait a
it's
minute, you ain't
always
doing that. You
good.
ain't doing a little robot, did it,
I,
coach?
I, I try to pass it
Okay,
to you.
okay. We're gonna pass it on back to you then.
Well, it's always good to be with the good brothers again. And got our brother Neely back in town, or well, he's in town for another podcast. But this week's cigar is called the Tide. What is it called? Tide Tea.
Oh,
Yeah, Tide
okay,
Tea.
yeah, I
It
like that
be in
logo.
your
Yeah,
locker.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
little drink logo. I guess Tide is a Nicaraguan stick. We give you a little Thailand feel. So we're gonna smoke it up today and see what the smoke like. This is part of the LCA Provider Club members here at Churchill. Get this every month free. It'll be in their lockers. Some of them are up there smoking it right now. So we'll give it a try as we get through this Friday, first Friday of January for the good brothers.
2026.
And got our brother CD Neely on there.
That
I
right?
guess we could talk college football playoffs. We had the games come on this weekend. So what y'all thoughts or what you saw?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I liked what I saw New Year's Eve, New Year's Day,
But
but it still like begs the question for me of what I didn't get to see in the build-up. Because one thing that fans have, Coach Chad,
hmm
and I'm not talking about fans of a particular team. Those fans have long memories. I'm talking about fans of the game itself. We have
right,
short memories,
right.
and we forget just how little ago it was that Miami almost didn't make it,
Almost
Almost didn't
did
make it. No.
at all.
and Miami makes it. They go into College Station, the Aggie 12 home to 12 man to do the thing. They do the damn thing against a SEC team, and here's a team that was quote unquote on the discussion bubble. And where am I
Right.
going with that is this. I wonder how much different this playoff bracket and excitement would be if we hadn't wasted games with Tulane and James Madison being in.
Mm,
Because just like Miami'd almost got Miami, a couple other people did so they could be in. Now,
Yep.
all's well that ends well. You're here with the Final Four, and you got four legit great teams, in it. Upset some people as far as rankings go,
Right.
but I still got to go back to how this thing started. And I think the process is not necessarily the committee's fault because they had to follow the rules. I still think who gets in this and is trying to manufacture a Cinderella story is not good for the overall brackets.
Well, and also we got to remember too. Let's just be call a spade a spade. And I know I'm an SEC homer, so I'm gonna wear that badge. You can even call me the original hater outside of the SEC. I take that too. But if the ACC don't let everybody down, but Miami's rolling right now, you don't have this discussion. If they don't let damn Duke win their conference, you don't have this discussion. But you are right. I mean, you think about it, what that game and what financially that game would have been Notre Dame going to Oxford, or something like that. That would have been something to see, something to. I mean, that's been good for the city of Oxford. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, to bring a school like that to come visit your school, you know, and
yeah.
I think they have a history. They have played before, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not as much as some of the other teams, but
Probably
yeah,
back
but
in the
I do.
'60s.
Yeah, but I do agree with Neely. I think this year, because we had a little bit of that last year, when you just trying to get everybody involved, the games are not as good. Let's just be honest, the games are not as good. Even though the Indiana and Alabama game was a blowout, you saw Alabama on the field and they played their way there. And then it was for me it was enjoyable to watch. So
But Neely, you know what? I'm gonna piggyback more on what you're saying, especially those individuals who have a chance to vote or who's in that committee. Me being a researcher and doing research in my area uh, of expertise or whatever like that. There's something called selection bias. So you do research and you start, breaking down the criterion of what it means to be a playoff team. There's selection bias there. There are some individuals who have an opportunity to vote for these certain schools are gonna vote for what they want and who they know. And again, I also agree with you that looking back, because I'm one of those guys. I love the underdog, but that wasn't it. Because you could have found an underdog at 19 or 20. And now I'm gonna pose this to you, Neil, and how you feel about this. We just had at the old church here. We had this discussion. The FCS gave us the blueprint how to do it. Take the top 16 teams and run a playoff. Take the bottom half of that from 17 to 32, maybe 17 to 40, and now you have an expanded bowl season. Okay. Now, would you think that would help level the playing field when it comes to exposure?
It wouldn't hurt, and I will tell you this: it would be more in line with what you following from week 0, and that is it is steeped in who the top 20 teams naturally are.
Right.
And you chose a word, coach, and I love the word you chose when you said underdog, because I want to be clear to the fans of the Good Brothers Committee out there listening to our melodic voices and watching these handsome faces. There is such a big damn difference between an underdog and Cinderella.
It is.
Underdog got a chance.
Right.
Cinderella don't even have a penis.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And I understand when we have these almost chaotic reversals into what the norm is, that you got to have buy-in. And to get buy-in, you had to say to the little guy, hey, we're going to make sure at least one little guy gets in now. So support us on this. Okay. Mission accomplished. Now adjust the adjustment and keep it real. When you get to the
Right.
finals of the season, you getting right there to the conference championships. You got now the Power Four where they winner just gets in. Pick the best 12 teams, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Just pick the best 12. And Preston, you're exactly right with the games that we just witnessed. I'm not mad at a blowout. That was a result of two guys playing each other, but two guys who were on level playing field. I would
Yeah.
much rather see a 38-3 blowout between two equal competitors than a 27-10 game of Alabama versus Harding Middle School.
Because you know there was no chance there.
Yeah, exactly. It
Right.
doesn't
There's no
matter that
chance
Harding
there.
scored 10. They're not going to win the game.
Well, think
Right.
about this. So I was having a conversation with some of the guys at the bar a couple of weeks ago about this very thing we're talking about. And I know Trent made a good comment. He said, man, we got to remember how we got here. We got here with an argument over 4 and 5. Who was that fourth team when it was the 14 playoff? Who was that fourth team that was there? We got here from 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So the reality is you should never have to worry about what you're saying as far as just throwing teams in there for the sake of trying to give an underdog a chance. You should try to find, like you said, the 12 best teams who legitimately could win it all. Because the reality is, from what I've seen these last 2 days, man, look like the best team out there. I mean, I told them before they even played Ohio State, I said, look, told John, I said, man, y'all got a shot because nobody got a defensive front like y'all do. And Ohio State hadn't seen nothing like that all year. I go back
Press,
to
I got to do this with you though.
the
I got to do this with you. I'm gonna do it like the old courtroom lawyer. I'm on your side. I just want the jury to hear it again.
Yeah.
You said take the 12 best teams, and your definition of 12 best is teams who really can win it all.
Yeah.
Tulane can't win it all.
No.
JMU
Right.
couldn't win it all. And here
Right.
we have Miami, who again goes into the home of the 12th man, does the damn thing, and then does it again. They can legit win it all. And there was serious discussion about them not even making it.
Right. Right.
Like, if that
Right.
don't show us there's a flaw in this system somewhere. That here
Yeah.
they are having done what they've done. And this was a team who almost didn't get in. And let me say this. I'm no advocate of Notre Dame. I think they dig their own hole by being independent, all that, et cetera, et cetera. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm
Right.
no advocate of Duke or whoever, Virginia, whoever, because I think the ACC process where this year their winner couldn't get in, that's something they got to change with theirs.
Right.
But you can't tell me that Virginia being in or JMU and Tulane being out would not have led to a potential different out. We might not be talking about Ole Miss right now. We might be
Right.
talking about how Georgia beat Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, all this stuff matters. And
Well,
here's what I do love about it, Coach. I think they got it so wrong this year that when the final numbers come out for those early games and the whole process, TV revenue gonna fix it.
Yeah, it's
And
going to be down. Those games were, I think about, but here's the thing about the playoff that I think they got to take in regard. About the teams need to be the 12 best team. Caleb Downs, who played at Alabama in his freshman year, transferred to Ohio State. He was on a podcast with David Powell. And David Powell said, hey, look, this debate around the country. What's the best conference, the SEC or the Big Ten? You played in both. Now, he's currently at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
He said, what's the difference? And Caleb Downs said, look, he said, to be honest with you, he said, in the Big Ten, we have 4 or 5 weeks where we can rest our stars. He said, in the SEC, we didn't have that. You have to come to play every weekend. It was a fight every weekend. So how that balances in the college football playoffs is what I always tell people the most powerful thing about the SEC is the attrition. What I mean by that is you can't go into Baton Rouge, then go into Tuscaloosa, then go into College Station back to back to back and not be hurt. It's just implausible. It's not to be hurt. So that means that guy who is 1A or 1B, he's playing. Because ain't no way you go through them 3 games. And I'm just stopping at 3 because most people go through 5 or 6 in a row like that.
Sure.
And you don't feel that. I always quote that quote from Nick Saban before he was, LSU and Alabama used to have a bye where they play each other. And he said, the worst thing about us is that we play Mississippi State before our buys. And for whatever reason, whether we play them in Tuscaloosa or whether we play in Starkville, they beat us up. And that's because back then, Mullen, he played that run quarterback. It was a heavy run kind of offense.
the run option.
So yeah, and then that tends to lend to, those defensive line fist fight, every other play.
That's a schematic justification for it, but there's also a human element when you're talking about, and I have to say that era of college football, because so much has changed as college football,
Right?
That there were starters at Mississippi State with a chip on their shoulder because they didn't get to play at Alabama.
True.
And when they played at Alabama, they got up for that game. You look at Dak Prescott, a kid from Hull, Louisiana, who wanted to go to LSU, but LSU said you can come, but you won't be quarterback. Well, when he went to Mississippi State and they let him play quarterback, he had a chip on his shoulder when he went to play LSU.
Right.
So you factor in that human, element too. Well, I want to touch on something, tying back to what Coach Shad said and to you, Preston. He talked about selection bias, and you talked about, the Big Ten. Well, as the audience probably knows, I work with Coach Prime out there in the Big 12, and you got to do what Indiana did.
Right.
You want to be in, win the conference championship.
There you go.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, it's fair. It's stated. It's like, in my mind, because I'm at those games, are there 1 or 2 teams in the Big 12 good enough that they should be in the top 12, whether they won the conference championship or not? Yes. Like Texas Tech won the Big 12 championship, and you can't tell me Utah was not just as good. But
Right.
so what? They was only taking 1 from the Big 12. You had to win and you didn't. So Texas Tech in. And then here's Texas Tech, spent more money than anybody in the Big 12, won the conference championship. Everybody they defeated by 20 or more. And then look what happens to them.
They got hazed.
They run into somebody who had a bigger budget.
Yeah.
Right.
They got hazed.
So at the end of the day, some of this stuff just is what it is. I talked on Morning Wood today about how I like a good honey bun, Coach Chad.
Yeah, warm that
I
thing
don't know
up.
about you. When I pull into the gas station, honey bun about 50 cents.
There you go.
If I'm really splurging now, it's like $1.05, $1.10.
Yeah.
That same honey bun at the airport is $10.
Yeah.
I don't buy honey buns at the airport. And you got to do the same thing with these conferences and these players and this NIL. You got to realize where your market space is. And just because somewhere is paying $10 for a honey bun, that don't mean you pay $10 for a honey bun.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when this stuff shake loose, go look at the final 4 teams. Go look what they spent in budgeted NIL and outside NIL, and you're going to see why the final 4.
Yeah, well, it's well known. Indiana, they, and they did a good job of selecting who they needed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
To fit what they
and
wanted
coaching
to.
them.
And
Right.
coaching them up, because I know I saw what Todd Lachey said. They got like 8 pros out there, and you know that's SEC numbers.
Yeah.
And when you got eight guys on the field that's going to be playing on Sunday, you know, so that you
I
know,
mean, Preston, you and I come from political backgrounds, working together campaigns. We done knocked on a lot of doors, shook a lot of hands, kissed a lot of babies, done a lot of radio interviews, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, 95% of political campaigns, whether it's president or dog catcher, are won by the person who spends the most money.
without a doubt, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you have to spend money in the correct manner. You know, you
Right.
have to know how to spend it right for TV and mail outs and that kind of stuff. But the guy who raised the most and spent it the most correctly, they win 95% of the time.
Yeah, no
It's
doubt
going to
about
be the
that.
same thing going forward in college football, college basketball. The person who has the bigger expenditure in the right way based on the needs and things that it takes to win their conference. Because see, that's one thing I would give hats off to Texas Tech. Keep in mind, Coach Prime took his Colorado Buffs into Lubbock last year and whooped them like they stole something. And look what they did a year later with the NIL increase. But they did that increase to win the Big 12. They
Yeah,
bought
they
the
didn't
honey
do it.
buns that it take to win the Big 12. They didn't get the honey buns that it take to win the CFP.
Yeah.
It's a
Right.
different market.
Right.
So what they need to do now is figure out how to turn those the quote life, those white folks pies into
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we turn
Yeah,
these
real
Big
talk.
12 pies into CFP
into
pies?
Right.
yeah, the
Yeah.
CFP pies. Yeah, the win
Yeah.
there. Well, I guess that's the next step probably for their program. Is look where you're fishing at
Yeah.
from that next step up to see like, okay, we've done this, now we need to take that next step. Because I'm sure that they've gotten a return on their investment.
Dog, you know, the three of us, man, we see they look at Coach Chad and see that baby face because he's shaved, because he's a diehard soldier. But you know me, we all right there together at age.
Right.
Right.
Did you ever think you would live to see the day that a college football head coach, Power 4 program, is basically holding a press conference on the courthouse steps and saying, "Y'all, somebody give me a check for 20 million and I win it all." Like that's where we have reached in college
Right.
football. The coach at Arizona is like yelling, "Hey, somebody in Phoenix stroke me 20 million. I'll show you what to do, what we're gonna do with it, and you'll get all the credit." I know there's somebody out there in Phoenix that love us enough to do that, and I know Phoenix got the money. And if it's not one for 20 million, get two people for 10 each. Get four people five each, man. We just had $20 million. This is what we would do.
Wow.
This
You know,
is
we
where
went
we are in
from
college. This was a
I
real,
must
this is
say
what AI, this was a real press conference.
went from Hot Rod Williams getting a shoebox of money and getting the program, get the death penalty in Tulane
Yeah.
basketball to now just outright, I need, give me the
Man, he
cash.
sounded like one of them televan. And man, look, and I'm not knocking him. I
Right,
mean,
right.
more power to you. He was telling the truth. He sounded like one of them televangelists talking about if y'all don't raise
Benny
the kid, the
Hahn.
Lord gonna take me home.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benny Hahn. Damn.
But that's where we are
Got
in college football today, fellas.
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
And
it's true.
it ain't going back.
Oh
No,
no.
it isn't. But I will say this now, and in lieu of that, and of course, a lot of schools that has a budget, you gonna see a turn back to grassroots recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see a turn because now a lot of high school kids, unless you that guy, they aren't being recruited.
Nope.
There is no high school recruiting. But so what's gonna have to happen is a lot of those schools who don't have that Benny Hahn money, that Creflo Dollar Jet Gold Grill money, you got to go recruit again.
Yeah.
You got to go to the
What
backwoods. You got to go to Sunday dinner, eat some corn and black eyed peas, and go talk to some folks.
what about development? Where does development come in all this? Because see,
I'm glad Preston. I'm
some of
glad you
these
said that.
guys, because I was telling the guy the other day, about when I was talking about I'd rather take a 3-star from Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, than take me a 5-star from upstate New York that played in the Capital League or something like that. Because I know that kid from the South, he's gonna be able to run, catch, and tackle. If nothing else, he's gonna have some athleticism. But one of the things that I always get anxious about when I see they have a guy, they say he's a top recruit, and it just says athlete. And I was like, oh, that means he probably don't know no techniques on nothing. He did special. But then sometimes, it doesn't mean that. I mean, because sometimes they do get the proper development and they are an expert in one spot, but they say, hey, it can be like Travis, pitcher behind a guy that is a fire corner, but he's also a developed wide receiver as well. So you have those, I guess you could say they're not the norm. But where does development fall when it comes to some of these guys?
Okay, Neely, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna yield to you, Preston,
I'm
because
gonna
what
yield
you
to you,
got
coach,
now.
because I'm gonna lean on the coach. Because I'm gonna
Because
put it on coaching.
because here's what you got now. It isn't about because of what the portal is now. It isn't about player development. It's about player refinement. So there are a lot of things that when you go to the portal to get these kids that some coaches do not expect to have to teach. They should already know it, especially coming from top tier programs. When I get a transfer, it's gonna be a big difference when I get a transfer from a Miami, in particular Georgia Southern, especially depending on what they run schematically and fundamentally. Miami is more multiple pass oriented offenses that will run the ball. Georgia Southern has gone to the air raid, so it's gonna look differently. So player development gonna come in to where how does this guy fit my program going forward, and how long am I gonna have him? So when you go to the portal, it's not about development; it's about player refinement, fine
Any
tuning that
fit your
guy.
system?
Yeah, fine tuning. You
Yeah.
know, hey, you got a V6. Let me see if I can upgrade to a V8.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? If this V8 is big truck, let me see if I can, what I'm saying, put a fuel injector in that thing.
Right, right,
No.
right.
So now to answer your question, player development comes from when you go down to the lower levels and get these kids who have this raw talent, might lack certain skills in some area, and he can fit or he can grow, and he can also help in two ways. He can help in the locker room, he can help on the field.
Right. Well, the
You see
reason I
what
brought that up because because we all watched the Pregame Network. Back in the day when you used to do those videos with Coach Pete, the defensive line was the defensive end offensive line
We
coach.
just talked about him
I'm
before you came on.
So,
yeah.
I was watching. Okay, I can't remember what game I was watching. It was a pro game. Dude had his hands outside. Got called holding. I said, man, no, Coach Pete said put them hands on the inside. So I mean,
That's what he caught every
that
time.
stuck in my head.
Hmm.
So I mean, I was like, but how many guys now in this rapid age of players hopping around get that kind of specialized technique training that know? Chad, I mean, you played on the line, Chad, that know the different moves to do to help enhance your already athletic ability.
Is it, Go ahead, Nick.
Well, now you go, Chad, because I'm gonna make it a coaching philosophy thing. So you go ahead.
You know what, Preston? It gets taught, but sometimes I'm gonna say this, and it might sound a little different. Sometimes it get lost in translation. When we know better, we do better, but sometimes we don't. No, plain and simple. Because if I'm playing D line and I see the offensive line and I'm on the weak side, they open the splits up. 9 times 10, I know they're trying to get outside. They closing splits down. They heavy handed. They finna come at me. So I gotta get ready to bow up. I
Right,
gotta put some bricks in my pocket because I'm finna get double teamed.
right, right.
Especially when the one technique. I mean, the three technique that might be a little different, which is outside out of guard.
Mhm.
And it's gonna look different for the ends because they in 5'6", 5'6", 7", possibly 8'9". We got a tight end on the end of the line of scrimmage. So again, a lot of times that's lots of translation because a lot of kids were gonna take the short way. They're not gonna go through their reads progressions, especially when it comes to facing certain things, especially when it comes to traps. Because so I teach you both ways. Jump in the hip pocket. If you can't, if the center good and he take a drop step on you and he wall you up, you got to rock back with the forearm, bring your left arm out, swim him, and then go around because guess who's feeling beside you is the mic. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
again, it all depends on philosophy, scheme, but ultimately, coaches can't play the game. The players got to play.
So Chad, where I was headed is right where you finish, and I say this about the process in the portal. It really is a used car market.
Hmm.
And you can find a car out there that's pre-owned certified, and it's just a steal of your life, and it's like brand new, and it's almost like ain't nobody ever farted in it. Like, man, I can't believe this was out here.
Good
But for the
program call.
most part, your stuff gonna have some wear and tear on it, some blemishes on it, some things you wish weren't there, but some things that are fixable, that kind of thing. Well, how you
Right.
skew the odds in your favor, and this is where relationships come in. I may
Mhm.
not know or be able to ascertain even how much a kid knows or has retained, but because I know Coach Chad, I do know he was exposed to and taught. And so what you find
Right.
is this is the
Right.
time of
Cause
year you're leaning on relationships. Like
right.
I'm in a power four, you're in a group of five, and I'm going to call up Chad. Go, man, I need a linebacker. Who you got, or who did you play against that look like what me and you did it together?
Right.
Yeah, man, I got one. I don't know if his mama gonna let him go that far, but I tell you what, when we played Middle Tennessee State, they number 47. Da 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 da. Cool. Let me go look them
Right.
up.
Right.
And you're gonna find more of that kind of, because again, that's what you do with a chick before you start dating her. It's what you do with a car before you buy
Yeah.
Right,
it.
right.
You
Yeah.
finna
Get it
Lean on
ask
out
your
her.
there.
homeboy. Yeah. Lean on your
Get the
homeboy.
Carfax
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Get
Yeah.
the
man,
whole
man, you
facts.
know
Either
what,
one.
man,
Yeah.
go like here, a gram. What you know? Yeah.
Right.
So, and then again, none of that means a damn thing, but it does start to skew the data points to your favor. Because one thing you cannot afford to do in this era of college football, where we do have pay for play in the sense of it's guaranteed, we don't have pay for play and it's got metrics for your performance. So you can't afford to get it wrong too often.
Right.
Because you get it wrong, you out of 350,000, sometimes even $1 million on a kid, depending on who they are, what position. You know, same thing with a used car. You can't afford but one car, and you need this for the family car to get the kids to school, to get mama to work, to get grandma to the doctor's appointment, and you buy one that break down in a week. And ain't no return policy. You stuck. And you ain't got the
Right.
budget now to go buy a new one. You got to make this work somehow. And
Right.
so you do that, man. Lean on the relationships, what he's being exposed to, who is he being coached by, what do they think about him. Let me get all the data points I can in a row to skew the data in my favor, where I got at least a better than 50% chance of getting it right on this guy. And of
Right.
course, nothing replaces. Don't send me them highlight films that he put together. I need
Right.
game film.
Right.
I want to see
Actual
the play
game
he took a
film.
play off and why. I want to see the play he made and why. I want to see body
Hmm.
language on the bench. Like I need to see real bullets flying.
Yeah. How you interact with his teammates?
Yeah.
Is he hustling downfield? Is he communicating? Does he shut down when you try to critique him? You know what I'm saying? Is he getting his teammates up? That
Yeah, I
all
guess
the
you don't
all
want
the
to bring
stuff
a
thing.
cancer in.
Because you hit it hard, Chad. It went over their heads up into the upper deck. You said I
My
need to
bad.
know he got to be good for us on the field or good for us in the locker room.
Oh yeah.
Because you can be great on the field and tear the locker room up.
Yep.
Right, right. Yeah, you see a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we'll get out of here, man. This is last week of the NFL. We got any comments about? Got a lot of competitive games. A couple playoff spots still open. Pittsburgh playing Baltimore for all the marbles. For the AFC North, and then you have San Francisco playing Seattle for all the marbles. San Francisco wins. They got the everything comes through San Francisco. They did the Super Bowl in San Francisco this year too, as well, if I'm not mistaken. I know
I
it's a
think it
Cali,
is.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it
Hmm.
yeah.
is.
So then
Yeah.
everything has to come through them if they can beat Seattle. So so what do you got any thoughts about what's coming up this weekend?
I'm more interested in that Steelers Ravens. I know,
Yeah.
it's not as what it could be because of the Lamar situation.
Right.
But
Is he playing? Has it been decided yet?
I think as of right now, he's not playing. I think
Yeah.
that's the case.
Okay.
Uh, but having said that, I think the Steelers last week against the Browns were so interested in making sure that Myles Garrett didn't set the record by taking down Aaron Rodgers, that
Right.
they forgot the rest of the game and
I
kind of
think so
peeking
too.
ahead and going, we could take care of the Ravens without Lamar. But uh, it's going to be interesting to see if the Steelers lose, what happens to Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, they got him on the
Mm.
hot seat. So
Yeah.
he never had to lose a season.
No.
That's the
Yeah.
wild thing.
And
He's
but
never
the
had to lose a
challenge
season.
is, and all my cards on the table. I've only met him once in life, but he is a frat brother of mine, so I pull for him. Uh, is the standard in Pittsburgh just having a winning record, or is the standard in Pittsburgh Super Bowl and AFC championships? And so depending on where we start the tape measure at, if
Yeah.
that's actually successful or not.
Yeah, like every they expect to be in it every 3-4 years, be in the mix. So you can tell that. And
And
I
we
mean, they only
always,
had 3 coaches in their history.
Yeah.
yeah,
3.
pretty much. You know, hey,
No
the NFL,
power,
the
Tom,
NFL stands. What the motto NFL is? What have
not
you
for
done for
long.
me lately? Yeah. What have you
Yeah,
done for me lately?
yeah.
You
So,
know.
yeah. So before we get out of here, Neely, and I know we don't have you long for you back on the grind.
Let's year.
You know. So, but hey, so I do want you to touch on the Morning Woods. I've seen the couple episodes of you doing solo, and that name tripped me out. So what was the impetus of the thought process of coming up with the Morning Wood during this time? Where you're I guess with y'all be back on the grind on the morning run, but starting next week.
Yeah, yeah. During the off season, we just do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So starting Monday, January 5th, will be 3 days a week instead of 5. And then when spring ball starts, go back to 5 weekends. Spring ball for us in Colorado, first practice is that first Monday, which I think is on March 1st. So we got all of January and February for the quote unquote off season, for the media part of it. And I'd always wanted to add something earlier in the morning than just the lunchtime show. And so,
Right.
man, went through like so many name choices and Preston, nothing is better than keeping it real, coach.
That's it. All right.
And I was tinkering with something about coffee, but I'm literally not a coffee drinker.
Right.
And I said, man, then I got to thinking, I said, dog, I know damn well I ain't finna commit to doing something 5 days a week at 7:30 in the morning during the off time. I said, so what is it that I can do and only do when something pops up? And in my head, just said, man, shit's like morning wood. That don't happen every day. Not at my age.
Right.
It used to happen every day. But at 54, I don't get woke up with morning wood every day. Now I said, that's it. Morning wood.
Right.
I'm gonna hop on when there's something to do. But otherwise, we catch you the next show. And so it's been going good. Been at probably like 6 or 7 episodes in now. So the fans are enjoying it. I enjoy giving it to them. Just a little solo editorial, whatever sports news is that day.
That's good deal. Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
Chad, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Hey man, if y'all not doing anything, hey, come see us at Churchill Smoke Shop. Come watch the football games. I think Mississippi State finna ready to come on at 7.
Yeah.
We're building our weekend. Come check the ball games out. Like I said, you come by yourself. I guarantee you're gonna leave as a friend.
Always. And this
Chad,
month's cigar
Chad, I'm on the way.
Tati.
10-4, me too.
Tati. For the Bottle Club, and then those not Bottle Club members, this will be available in the humidor for you to come out and try. It's pretty mild. It's more mild than I thought it would be, but it's good smooth smoke though. Overall, good smooth smoke.
That's what I'm talking about. Can't beat it.
But I don't. Guys, we got nothing else. We can call it a time. But let me say one more thing before I get out of here. Goddamn Georgia let me down. I can't have Ole Miss winning.
They did what I expected them to do.
I told you I am the number one hater when it comes to that Ole Miss. I know I did. I turned it off when it was 21-2. I said, okay, cool. I can go to sleep now. Ole Miss coming home. God damn, woke up. I think, wait, this shit tied 34-35.
Yep.
Then I got frustrated. Couldn't even sleep. Toss and turn all night.
Go
That's how it be
Tigers.
sometimes.
So I'm looking at Miami. Help me, Miami. You're my only hope.
Obi-Wan, click.
That's all I got, guys.
All right, let's do it.
Always a pleasure. Yeah, always a pleasure. See